So yo, it's the voice reveal with your girl, Is It Inserts, and yeah, this is how I sound. My voice can go up, down, and all around, but it normally is about this kind of ish. Yeah. Um, I decided to start a little talk about my character series, along with a little thing that's probably gonna come out eventually, like Tuesday next week, maybe, where I talk called Chats with Iz's Characters or Chat with Insert Character, something like that. Um, since I've got to put into lockdown recently because of the coronavirus. and I need some social interaction in my life. This is more of an introduction of sorts of ideas, giving you a basic understanding of what I'm actually going to do with this whole shebang. First off, I refer to most of my skeleton OCs as my Skelekids, the Skeleton Kids, or my little trashes. Because, yeah, I mean, honestly, if you've seen them, you know how chaotic they can be. Anywho, I've got a grand total of 19 Skelekids who will be featured on the channel. But that's not actually all of them. I've got 11 more from different story concepts that I still hold dear to me, and an AU full with another Sans, like an actual Sans, which I'm not even going to talk about that, and that's a story for another day, another video, another talk. Anywho, I say anywho a lot, you should get used to it by now. But yeah, they won't probably make a lot of appearances. I might feature them in short little things, or like if I do a crossover with stuff, but besides that, not really much. I refer to the story my Skelekids are in as two things: my AU and the Glitch Stars. The first one is sort of obvious, but the second one is a little bit more for most of you guys. Of my 19 Skelekids, they are divided into two groups. One of 10, which is mostly bad AU ship kids, except for a couple who are absolute babies. And they call themselves the Star Kingdom Skeletons. And the other remaining 19 call themselves the Venus Glitches and are mostly good guys. And I mean, there's some random ones, but still. I wanted to establish my headcanon since they're honestly really confusing sometimes, and if I don't mention them now, you'll still probably forget about them, but I want to at least make some kind of video to talk about them, but yeah. So, first off, skeletons in my AU are genderless monsters. In all technicality, I think because of the fact monsters are composed of magic, that they all of them are genderless. Like, yes, they can... I just went blank. I'm sorry about that. Yes, they can, in fact, choose gender. Like, they're kind of gender fluid in that sense, now that I think about it. It's mostly based on their appearance, on how that works. And how I work with the appearance thing, appearances are basically manipulatable to an extent, because their whole essence is magic. Like, Toby, I understand you made the magic for a reason, but like you can also make the magic really interesting and like have it be this whole thing where their identities are based around it. While it is possible to change a lot of aspects of a monsters and stuff, a monster cannot change everything. Like, there's a lot of stuff, but there's like a limit based on their soul and stuff. Like, I have this whole thing called soul capacity and stuff. I might even just make a whole other video explaining how I feel AU monsters work and stuff and like all that shebang. Continuing on though. A monster's base appearance, what I call their beta form, is unchangeable. It's basically their species. If they're like let's say a skeleton and like I was about to say goat, and then I thought about Soriel, and I don't know how to feel on that ship, honestly. Let's say those two, I guess. They have a child. It's probably going to be some kind of, like, skeleton with goat features or something, or a goat with some skeleton parts. They can't change that about themselves. What they can change includes, like, their size, shape, And their clothes. You heard me right. Clothes are just a manifestation of magic on monsters. I think it makes sense for that since through the entire journey of Undertale, I don't remember seeing one shop where they are like creating clothes or like I don't see like a field for making stuff and that jazz. I say that jazz too. um Listen to me. But the only accessories we actually like get and stuff, like sure those are around and stuff, and we see plenty of monsters with clothes and stuff. But the accessories we find are from humans who previously fell. And I mean, we never see like a farm for cotton. And man, I sound dumb now because I stuttered and Moving on. Next, I think again because of the whole magic thing, monsters of any kind don't do the whole boom baby thing. Yes, I said boom baby thing. I'm uncomfortable with the word, okay? Yeah, I'm just a little baby, honestly. Fight me. Like, they can reproduce and stuff. I just think it's more mystical than, you know. And it also gives me kind of a Megaverse kind of thing where males can be with males and lesbians can have lesbian power. Yeah. Basically, it's more like two souls codes work together, giving up pieces of itself to create a new entity which grows off that little chunk. Basically, the codes of a soul work as DNA for a new child. If that makes sense. Biology, don't fail me now. And sure, I think there would be some monsters and stuff who would actually do that kind of shebang. Like, I was lost. Something caught in my throat. But still, like, I think it would make more sense for that since they're magic. Make it more mystical. Now, giving a part of their code, I think, would actually make them kind of weaker. I just kind of don't know. It's still a work in progress kind of idea for me, but it's working, so I'm gonna work with it. And we move on to the final thing. The Skelly Kids are different from the circumstances I've mentioned. Yeah, okay. Since it's gay shipping, and it's Sans X Sans, AU shipping thing, I thought it would be a little bit different. Well, two male identifying monsters in my headcanon would canonically get together and could have children and stuff. It's different because you haven't seen the ship pairs of my children. They're honestly really completely irrational, and I doubt there's a lot of people who ship them. Most of them were made out of aesthetic purposes, and me being a little, me, because I honestly made these because Jade Nightmare Sans' wife, got me into Undertale, and I was mostly doing it for the fun of it. I never really thought it would go this far into having literally 19. Off topic. So irrational ships, like I'm talking about, there's, Cosmos, my little dipshit of a little star boy who's too cocky for his own good. He's a Nightmare X star, Outer Tail, ship child. Yeah, you wouldn't expect to see that. I just kind of had the idea of making a spacey goopy baby. But then he turned into a brick. And I can't control that. But I can. But I can't. You get my issue here. Anywho, so I kind of basically just thought the Skelly Kids poofed into existence. You heard me right? Poofed. Basically, you're going over what I've seen. AUs are known just to sprout out of nowhere. Like, sure, they have some kind of origin and the creator made them and stuff, but they still poofed into existence. Like, I haven't seen an AU comic kind of thing where it's Ink creating the whole universe based on what the creator wanted. Like he sure I think he can like create stuff like that, but I don't know if he can do that you get what I mean. Okay, anywho, so since it's my AU, now you get why I call it my AU sometimes, they are technically the foundation of a story, which means they would basically come out of nowhere with this AU's birth. And that's it. Each of these talks will come out pretty randomly, depends on what happens with this whole virus thing and motivation and that jazz. You already know my random schedule here. But I really hope you kind of enjoyed this kind of talk thing. I know it was kind of everywhere and stuff, and I actually rambled a lot more than my script wanted me to. But I'm really hoping you guys enjoy it, because I like just kind of rambling. And yeah. Each of these little Skelekid talks is gonna basically go over who they are, how I made them, what concepts I put into them, and a little bit on their backstory if I have any. Because honestly, not everyone has a backstory yet, and I might make those while on YouTube, which is kind of cool, I think. I hope you enjoyed this little short-ish introduction, and hope you'll stay tuned for the first official one. This is Izza signing out. Stay funky.